This is Integrated 1, Semester 2, Final Review, homework number 1. So all of these, we are solving equations, and our goal is to get x by itself, whatever variable they're asking us to solve. And we always do this by undoing what's happening to the x. So this first one's a two-step problem. The first step is to get rid of the -4. So I'm going to add 4 to both sides. And then I get 3x is equal to 12. The next step is to get rid of the number in front of our x, which is a 3. That is multiplying. So the opposite of multiplication is division. And we get x equal 4 as our answer. On B, we could do one of two things. We could distribute this 4 to both things here and get a 20x minus 8 is equal to 28, and then solve from there by adding 8 to both sides, because now it's a two-step problem. And we get 20x is equal to 36. I am going to divide both sides by 20. And when we do, we can leave it as a fraction. It is 36 over 20, which can reduce. 4 goes into both of them, so this is going to be 9 over 5. The other method I could have used is, since we have two things multiplying together, I have this 4 multiplying with this quantity. I can get rid of the 4 by dividing both sides by 4. So I could have divided this side by 4, divided this side by 4, since 4 goes into the 28. If it didn't go into the 28, I definitely would distribute like we did as the first method. And so when I divide by 4, I'm going to get 5x minus 2 is equal to 7. I am going to add 2 to both sides. I am going to get 5x is equal to 9. I divide by the 5 and I get 9/5. And you see I got the same answer both ways. On C, for a problem like this, what I would recommend doing when we have x's on two sides and numbers on both sides, I deal with my x's first. So what I'm going to do is I am going to either minus 3x or minus 4x. I think minusing 3x is going to be nicer because I'm going to end up with a positive. So I'm going to get 2 is equal to 1x, or just x, plus 5. Then I am going to minus 5 from both sides. And when I minus 5 from both sides, I get a negative 3 is equal to x. On letter D, in this case, I could do one of two things. I could distribute the 2 to both things here. And so that is going to give me a 6x. Let me just move this down slightly. A 6x minus 2 is equal to 4x minus 12. I have x's on both sides. So I'm going to deal with my x's first. I can either subtract 6x or subtract 4x. I'm going to subtract 4x. And I'm going to get 2x minus 2 is equal to negative 12. I am going to add 2 to both sides. I get 2x is equal to negative 10. I divide by 2, and I get x is equal to negative 5. Another thing I could have done, again, I have, let me do it in this color. I have 2 multiplying with this 3x minus 1, two things multiplying together to get the other side. I can divide both sides by 2, where I divide this by 2 and I divide each of these separately by 2. That is something I can do also. It's another way of thinking about it. And I get a 3x minus 1 equals, but again, notice I divided everything on the other side by 2. I get a 2x minus 6. At this point, just like the other problem, I do have x's on both sides. So I want to deal with those first. I am going to minus 2x from both sides. And when I do, I'm going to get x minus 1 is equal to -6. I'm going to add 1 to both sides, and I get x is equal to -5. Again, notice both ways got me the same answer. On letter E, when I have things on the same side of the equal that I can clean up, that are like terms, I'm going to clean them up. So in this situation, this x squared minus, that minus goes with the second x squared there, x squared minus x squared, those cancel out. And I'm going to be left with 2x is equal to 5x plus 6. Now, in this situation, normally I would want to subtract the 2x as opposed to 5x, but I want to get my, let me just get rid of this, sorry. I want to get my x's on the same side. So I am going to minus 5x. Minus 5x. I'm going to get a negative, but that's okay. So I'm going to have -3x is equal to 6. I am going to divide by the number in front of my x, which is a -3. Notice I'm including the negative, and I get x is equal to -2 as the answer. For letter F, this one, you want to pay attention. They want us to solve for y. So our goal is to get that y by itself first. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to minus the 14x. So when I do that, I'm going to get -7y is equal to, I'm going to write my -14x first. Doesn't matter. I can also do the 28 first. The 28 is positive, then the 14x is a negative or a minus. Then I want to get my y by itself. So I'm going to divide by -7, and I'm going to divide each of these separately by a -7 because that will clean up nice. This is going to be y is equal to positive 2x minus 4. And that's our answer. And now if they wanted us to graph this, we could just find our y-intercept and our slope nicely. On number 2, we want to write the equation. Now, the equation of the line is y is equal to mx plus b, where m is our slope and b is our y-intercept. So let me just write that down. So m is slope and our b is our y-intercept. So I want to find my y-intercept. My y-intercept in this case is going to be 4. Okay, it's going to be 4. Then I want to find my slope. So I want to find another point here that's going to be nice. This one here looks nice. And I want to see how am I moving from here to here. Now notice this is a negative line, a decreasing line, so it's going to be a negative slope. I'm going to put my negative here, but you don't have to. I'm going to go down 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to consider that a -3 over 2. And slope is change of y, change of y over change of x. So my change of y is going to be -3. I'm going down 3. My change of x is 2. And then again, my y-intercept is this 4. So my equation is going to be y equal to -3 halves x plus 4. That's our equation. On B, our y-intercept is 2. This is an increasing line. So if I'm looking for another point, this looks like a nice point here. I am going to be going up 1, 2, 3 over 1. So positive 3 over 1. So again, change of y over change of x. My change of y is 3. My change of x is 1. So my equation is going to be y equal 3 over 1 or just plain old 3x plus my y-intercept, which is 2. C. For this one, my y-intercept is 2. And then if I'm looking for another nice point, that looks like a nice point. How am I moving? I'm moving up 1 over 2. So this is going to be a 1 and a 2. So my slope, my change of y over change of x, is a positive 1 over 2. So my equation is going to be y equal 1/2 x plus 2. On D, E, and F, for these ones, they are giving me the slope. Okay, so I am going to substitute the slope into the equation y equal mx plus b. So I am going to have y is equal to 2x plus b. I need to find my b. To find the b, I am going to take this point, 2, 12, and I'm going to put it in for my y and my x. So I'm going to have 12 is equal to 2 times the quantity x, which is 2, plus b. So I'm going to get 12 is equal to 4 plus b. I'm going to minus 4 from both sides, and I'm going to get 8 is equal to b. So now I'm going to go back to the original equation up here, okay? I am going to be substituting this 8 in for this b. And so my equation is going to be y equal 2x plus 8. So letter E is slightly different. We do not know the slope. We have 2 points, but we can find the slope given 2 points. So the equation of slope is change of y over change of x. Now my change of y is going to be the 4 and the 2 are my y, so I'm going to be subtracting those. And my change of x are going to be subtracting the x coordinates, the 3 and the 9. Now order does matter. So I am going to color code this way, where I have 2 different colors, one for my first point and one for my second point. So when I am subtracting, I want to make sure that I'm doing it in the same order. So if on top, I take my 4, which is my y, minus my 2, which is my y, where I'm taking from the purple point minus the blue point. I need to keep the same order on bottom, okay? So for my x's, I need to do purple, which is 3, minus blue, which is 9. And when I work this out, I'm going to get 2 over -6, okay, which is a -2/6, but I can reduce that to a -1/3, and that is going to be my slope. So into my equation y equal mx plus b, I am going to be putting this -1/3 in for my m, okay? So I am going to have y is equal to -1/3 x plus b. And what I'm going to do is the same thing I did in the last problem. I can either take the blue point or the purple point. Let's say I take the purple point. So I'm going to be putting that in for my y and my x. So I'm going to have 4 is equal to a -1/3 times my x, which is 3, plus b. And that's going to end up giving me 4 equal, and a -1/3 times 3 is a -3/3, which is going to be a -1 plus b. I'm going to add 1 to both sides, and I am going to end up with 5 is equal to b. So now what I'm going to do is into this equation, in place of my b, I am going to put 5. So I'm going to get y is equal to -1/3 x plus 5. And that's our equation. On letter F, I'm going to be putting in a -1/2 for my m. Okay, so it's mx plus b. And so I'm going to be putting in this -1/2 for my m. So I'm going to have y is equal to -1/2 x plus b. To find my b, I am going to be taking a point, this point right here, putting it in for my y and my x. So I'm going to have -4 is equal to a -1/2 times my x, which is 12, plus b. Now, when I work this out, I'm going to get a -4 is equal to half of 12 is a 6. So this is going to be a -6 plus b. I am going to add 6 to both sides, and I get 2 is equal to b. So I am going to take this 2, and I'm going to come up here to this equation and put it in place of b. So I'm going to get y is equal to -1/2 x plus 2. On number 3 for the big race. Okay. So for the big race, first off, when we do this, we are going to label our X and Y axis. So let me just, it's a little bigger. This is a little thicker here. Okay, so our X and Y axis. So our X axis is going to be seconds, and our Y axis is going to be meters. And I'm going to go by ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And this last one here is going to be a 15. I'm going to do the same this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now, for this, in the very first situation, it says Zoe got a 5-meter head start and rode her tricycle for 4 meters. So let's say I do Zoe in red. Okay, so she got a 2-meter head start. Okay, so 2-meter head start. She's going to start right there. And she rode her tricycle 4 meters every 3 seconds. So 4 meters, 1, 2, 3, 4 every 3. 1, 2, 3, 4 every 3. Okay, so I'm going to connect this with a line. And I'm going to put a Z for Zoe. Now it also says here that the race is 10 meters long. Okay, so the race is 10 meters long. So I'm going to come to 10 and just put a horizontal line there just so we know that's the end of the race. So right now I know that Zoe took 6 seconds, because if I came straight down here, we see that that would be 6. Okay. Get rid of these, sorry. Okay, so now the next one is Carlos. So for Carlos, let's say I do him in blue. Okay, so he has an equation, y is equal to 1/3 x plus 5. What that means is he has a 5-meter head start. That's his y-intercept. And he rode 1 meter every 3 seconds. So I am going to go start at 5 and go 1 meter every 3 seconds. So we're going to start at 5. And I'm going to go 1 meter every 3 seconds, 1 meter every 3 seconds, 1 meter every 3 seconds, 1 meter every 3, 1 meter every 3. So right now I know that he finished at, if I went straight down here, at 15 seconds. And let me draw his line. I also see when they crossed. Okay, I'm going to put C for Carlos. Now, the next person, Andrew, is 1 meter into the race after 5 seconds. Okay, so let's do Andrew, let's say in orange. Okay, so Andrew's 1 meter in the race after 5 seconds. That's really a point. 1 meter, actually, it's seconds comma meters because our X is seconds and our Y is meters. So it's going to be 5 seconds, 1 meter. And then we have another point, 9 meters in the race after 10 seconds. So that's going to be 10 seconds, 9 meters. So I'm going to plot those 2 points. So 5 seconds, 1 meter. So 5 seconds, 1 meter. And then 10 seconds was 9 meters. So 10 seconds was 9 meters. Now, as I'm trying to figure out how I'm moving on this, I'm going up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 every 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm going up 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 every 5. Okay, let me draw that line. Okay. And this was Andrew, so I'll put an A. It says, who wins the race? How do you know? So we want the person with the fastest time. So if we're looking to see who has the fastest time, we are going to be starting from here, going like this way. So this is person first place, second place, third place. Let me do that in a darker color. So this would be my first place person, Zoe. My second place person would be Andrew. My third place person would be Carlos. So Zoe wins the race. She has the fastest time. Which is 6 seconds. When does Zoe catch Carlos? So when does Zoe catch Carlos? So Zoe is red, Carlos is my blue. So Zoe catches Carlos right here, which is 3,6. So 3,6, which is at 3 seconds. Okay, they want when, not how far. After 5 seconds, who is first, second, and third? So let me just get rid of these right now because I don't want those to distract us. Okay, so we are looking at 5 seconds. So I'm going to draw a line. I'll do it in this blue at 5 seconds. So this is 5 seconds right here, 5 seconds. And so we want to pay attention to who is first, second, and third. So as I'm coming, this right here is Zoe, who's going to be first. This right here is Carlos, who's going to be second. And this right here is third, which is going to be Andrew. So it is going to be Zoe, then Carlos, then Andrew. There, because Zoe is closest to the 10. Okay. Then Carlos is second closest, and then Andrew is the furthest away. When does Carlos finish the race? So Carlos is going to finish the race right here. And that is at 15 seconds. So 15 seconds. On number 4, Paulina has a new sister named Mariella. Paulina's mom, who is a pediatrician, has been tracking Mariella's growth. Assume that Mariella's growth rate is constant. Complete the table and I'm going to answer these questions. Okay. So when I'm doing this, I want to pay attention to, in this case, my change of X is 2. going from 8 to 10 is 2. Where my change of y is 4 from 76 to 80. So remember, slope is change of y over change of x. So our slope is going to be 4 centimeters every 2 months. Now I can reduce that. 4 over 2 is going to reduce to 2 centimeters every 1 month. Okay, or 2 centimeters. Now, if I complete the table, for my x's, I'm going by 2. So this is going to be 6 and then 4 and then 2. And birth is really 0. For my y's, I'm going by 4. So if I subtract 4 from 72, I'm going to get 68. If I subtract 4 from that, I get 64. And 4 from that, I get 60. So when it asks, how tall is Mariella at birth? At birth, 60 centimeters. 60 centimeters. The next question, how many centimeters does Mariella grow every 2 months? So every 2 months, she grows 4 centimeters. And I'm just going to write 4 centimeters every 2 months, because I don't want us to think it's 4 centimeters every month, every 2 months. They asked us to write an equation representing Mariella's growth. Let y be the height in centimeters and x be the age in months. Okay, so for this, I'm going to have y equal her start at birth is 60 centimeters. How much is she growing every month? She's doing 4 every 2 months, but she's doing 2 every 1 month. Okay, so 2 every 1 month. So 2x, that's going to be our equation. Then on E, we're going to use this equation to predict her height at 2 years. Now, 2 years is not in months. So 2 years is going to be 24 months. So I'm going to plug 24 into our equation. So I'm going to go y is equal to 60 plus 2 times 24. So when I do that math, that's going to be a 48. So I'm going to end up with 108 centimeters as my answer. And that's the end of this video.